this gothic underground city. We all sin. If I bring a couple rounds with me, then we all win.
Hey there, nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate. We're back with another episode of Into the Bad Zones. Into the Bad Zones is our limited series that is dedicated to our Necromunda Outlanders campaign, and this is Battle Report number 15. This is a settlement raid scenario that is fought between my little sister, the Kiddo, as well as my good friend, Dark Lord Mac. Dark Lord Mac, as you can see, is bringing his Soylent Green, which is a Nurgle corrupted Corpse Guild outcast gang. And the Kiddo is bringing the Children of the Vault, her Cold Trader outcast gang. So the Kiddo will be the attacker in this scenario, attacking the settlement belonging to Soylent Green, the Corpse Guild corrupted outcast gang. We're going to play some music real quick. As the music is playing, we'll show you photos of both gangs as well as the rosters. If you want to see exactly what they're bringing for this one, go and pause and take a look at your own leisure. So that being said, let's get this battle report on a roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying times here.
So the scenario rules for this one is Settlement Raid. It takes place during the expansion phase of an Outlanders campaign. So for the battlefield, one half of the battlefield is a gang settlement, while the rest of the battlefield is set up normally. Now the gang with the higher gang rating is the attacker unless rolled during the choose scenario phase of an Outlander campaign. In this situation, my buddy Dark Lord Mac is the defender, and the reason why is because the Kiddo actually has a vault in her settlement, so she cannot be a subject of a settlement raid. Now the attacker gets their entire gang, while the defender starts off with 10 randomly chosen fighters, and the rest are placed as a side as reinforcements. Now the defender deploys first, placing all their fighters anywhere in their settlement, while the attacker then deploys within 2 inches of their deployment area's edge. Now starting on the third round and each round after that, 2 randomly chosen fighters will arrive in the end phase as reinforcements for the defenders, and of course the battle ends when one gang is the only one left with fighters on the battlefield. Now for victory conditions, the attacker wins if they loot at least 100 credits from the defender's settlement, otherwise the defender is the winner. Now the defender does have home turf advantage, and for defenses, the defending gang may place 8 defenses based on their settlement structures. Now, when it comes to the attacker, they have the option to ransack the settlement. As the attackers move through the defender's settlement, if they are in base contact with the defender's battlefield edge, they can be removed and earn rewards. And if the defender voluntarily bottles out, the remaining attackers are assumed to have ransacked the settlement. Now, the attacker earns D3 times 10 credits for each fighter that moves off the defender's battlefield edge, while the defender adds D6 times 10 credits to their stash if they win. Now for experience, each participant earns 1 point of experience, and attackers earn an additional point of experience if they manage to move off the defender's battlefield edge. Reputation, the victorious gang earns D3 points of reputation, and if any gang bottles out, they lose 1 point of reputation. Now as for the Outlander campaign rewards, if the attacker moves off the defender's battle edge, they may choose one of the following for rewards: either D6 power, D6 salvage, or D6 sustenance per fighter who makes it off the edge. So with scenario rules over, let's go and talk about deployments real fast. Alright, so with the scenario rules over with, let's go and talk about our deployments real quick. So first of all, starting out with Soylent Green up here in the front, that guy carrying that huge bone is Erg. Following next to him is Doc Singe, which is the rogue doc for this gang. In the back there we have Fiddlesticks, followed by Tulok the Broken. At the same time we also have this fighter over here. That fighter's name is Rodigus is his name. Meanwhile, over here on the top here, we have 2 more fighters. We have Ficula Flyblown, which is the Pale Consort for the gang, as well as Gerlach and Outcast Champion. Also, if you notice, we also have the Ambot Baymax, which uses infiltration special rules for the Cold Traders to pop up right here in the back. Over here in these back ranks back here, the guy in the purple, that is Reek, followed by Sepsimus, as well as Thrax the Unclean for the members of Soylent Green. Now, as for using the members from the Cold Traders, using infiltrate special rules, we have Yar Umbra as well as Wesley. They're posted right here above the bridge. Following down here in the bottom here, we have Nostromo the Ammo Jack. We have Miss Spectre, which is the gang arm with the autogun. We have Slick as well as Mr. Smug. Back over here we have Silk as well as Mr. Sinister. And then finally we have Slight as well as Ghost. And that pretty much makes the deployments for the Cold Traders. So the deployment rules over with for both the Cold Traders as well as for the Corpse Guild. My two friends go directly to the top of turn number 1 and they roll off for initiative to see which of them will be going first. Top of turn number 1, the Soylent Green of the Nurgle Corrupted Corpse Guild actually gets the initiative first, so Dark Lord Mac will be going first. And for his very first activation, he activates his Pale Concert Effective Flyblown, who then uses her Overseer ability directly onto Gerlach, which is the champion arm with the plasma gun. Since he has the fast shot skill, he can actually shoot his plasma gun twice per activation, alright, because it's basically a simple action each time he does it. And with the Overseer ability, he's got 2 sets of activations. So for his very first set of activations, he puts both of his shots of plasma guns directly into Baymax, the Ambot. And as you can see here, the Baymax Ambot, of course, went out of action, suffering a grievous injury as a result of that. Now, Baymax did not actually fall off of this container, it's just that it was impossible to keep that miniature on the top here while we put the dice on him, so that's the reason why he's down there. Now for his second set of activations, Gerlach then of course opened fire twice, once across this way across the bridge here, hitting Yar Umbra. Magic Yar Umbra also fell, actually got a serious injury originally, but because he failed his initiative test, he then plummeted the earth like a meteor and went out of action from that. The second shot, they went directly into Wesley as well, managed to put a serious injury on him as well as a flesh wound. So that makes it the very first activation for Dark Lord Mac. So not to be outdone, the kiddo then goes next. She then activates her leader, Mr. Sinister, who also has the Overseer ability. He puts it directly onto Silk, which is the Outcast ganger who's actually carrying a specialist who's also carrying a plasma gun too. So this character actually fires twice as well with 2 sets of activations. Now for her first set of activations, she actually opened fire and she got 3 shots off with her plasma gun. One missed, but one, however, put Urg out of action with a grievous injury. And the second one managed to hit Singed as well, putting a serious injury on him as well. Now, because she also got a second set of activations to open fire with her plasma gun, she fired a second time around, this time getting 3 shots off directly into Fiddlesticks, managed to put that guy out of action as well. He makes a full recovery, no problem. Now, this, of course, does cause a nerve test. Over here in the back here, this character passed. However, Tulak the Broken, though, did not pass his nerve test. He flees back 8 inches right behind there as well. And that pretty much makes up the very first set of activations for turn number 1. For the next set of activations for turn number 1, Dark Lord Matt goes next and he activates Festus, which this fighter looking over here. He basically has him move directly from behind that little cargo container and landed right here in the middle of the sandbags. He took a basic action open fire with his last hotshot last gun directly into Smoothie. Managed to put a serious injury on that guy. Now, as for Miss Spectre, as well as for Slick, those 2 guys passed their cold test no problem. However, Nostromo did not. The ammo jack ran back 7 inches and is currently broken at this point. Now, after that action has taken place, what ended up happening is the kiddo then activates Switch, which is this ganger back over here. So Switch takes a basic action to aim with her last gun. She also has a telescopic sight, and she decides not to fire at a person. Instead, she decides to open fire directly onto the booby trap that's right next to this gateway, causing it to massively explode, which occurred over there as well. Now for the next activation afterwards, go and zoom in here real quick. In the back here, as you can see, Thorax the Unclean actually does a double set of movements directly towards the bottom here, going from the top, hanging his way directly into the middle of the battlefield, so that way he can cause some damage later on. And that makes up the actions so far in this first turn. So that brings us directly to the last actions of turn number 1. So starting off with the Cold Traders, the kiddo actually moves up Miss Spectre. She moves up her normal moon allowance and open fire directly onto this booby trap right here into the cargo container, also causing it to detonate at exactly the same time. Meanwhile, for the kiddos, for Dark Lord Mac's next activation, he then activates Reek, which is this fighter over here. He does a double series of movements to move directly to the base of the bridge and then move up his second set of movements directly to the top of the bridge. So that way he can start putting some pressure directly onto the flanks of the enemy as well. From there, we then go directly back to the Cold Traders. So what happened with this character, his name is Slick. Slick takes a basic action aim and a basic action with fire with his bolt gun directly into this character over here. But unfortunately for him, though, he misses his shots, so not much really happens there. Now, the rest of the turn is pretty much just dedicated to people moving for the most part, so I'm not going to show you the exact order what they did. I'm just going to show you exactly what ended up happening. So as you can see here, Ghost and Slight start taking double movements directly as they can towards these sandbags, so that way they can cause some more problems. At the same time, this character back here, I believe that character's name is Slick, I think, or Smug. I forgot his name, but anyways, he moves back a little bit, so that way he doesn't keep on getting shot at as well. Same thing with Singed over here behind the little sandbags. He also moves to kind of get out of the way as well because he doesn't want to get killed. And then finally over here, we have Sepsimus, who does double movements directly towards Tulok the Broken to kind of help him out with his nerve test. And that pretty much makes up the action phase for turn number 1. So the action phase over with, we go directly to the end phase. So during the end phase of turn number 1, over here on the top here, you can see that Wesley is still seriously injured, so he's still laying on the ground bleeding out. At the same time, same thing with Singed. Singed the Road Doctor is also bleeding out right now, and he is still seriously injured. However, Tulok the Broken, though, did manage to pass his cool test, so because of that, he is now be able to fight again. Over here on the other side of the table, we're starting off with Smoothie, which is this guy with the shotgun. He manages to get a flesh wound, so he rolls over. He's 1 point less in toughness, but he can still fight, he can still move, he can still shoot, so he's still very much a threat. At the same time, Nostromo the Ammojack managed to recover his nerve as well. So this pretty much makes up the end of turn number 1. So with turn number 1 over with, my friends go directly to the top of turn number 2, and they roll off for initiative to see which of them will be going first. Alright, so that takes us directly to the beginning of turn number 2, and in this situation, Dark Lord Max gets the initiative on this one. So the first thing he does, of course, is a group activation. He activates Ficula Flyblown, who then also does a group activation with Gerlach. So Gerlach, of course, has the fast shot ability. So first thing he does, of course, he opens fire with his plasma gun. He actually opens his fire with his plasma gun directly into Slight. Managed to hit him 3 times with the plasma gun as well. Needless to say, Slight, of course, went completely out of action with the alcohol result, which then caused a panic check for Ghost, who failed his cool test. So because of that, he fled right behind cover behind this panel here, and he is currently broken at the same time. And since that first shot went off so successfully, Gerlach, of course, had a second shot. So this time he went after her directly towards Miss Spectre, because she was the closest target to him. Managed to hit her twice with rapid fire from that plasma gun. Managed to put her out of action as well with a critical injury. So because of that, 2 fighters just went out of action just like that. Now, the next step that actually happened afterwards, that Ficula Flyblown then, of course, activates next. Ficula Flyblown took a basic action to aim with her long gun, her long rifle, which has an infrared sight on it, and opened fire directly into Silk. So because of that, Silk got tagged, at the same time put a serious injury directly onto her, which also caused Mr. Sinister to take a cool test. Unfortunately for the kiddo, Mr. Sinister failed that cool test, and he fled all the way back here. As you can see, he's currently running away from the chaos that's developing so far. So from there, of course, we go with the kiddo next. The kiddo then activates Switch. Switch originally was above up here on the top of this little gantry walkway, but she does a double set of movements that go down directly here behind cover, and I think the reason why is so that way she can render medical aid to Silk over here, so that way Switch can actually help her out. Now from there, we then go directly to Dark Lord Mac. Dark Lord Mac then activates Festus. Festus does a basic action aim with his hotshot last gun. Another basic action open fire directly into Slick, which is this fight over here. Not only does he manage to hit him and wound him, but also puts out of action result on him with a grievous injury as well. So just like that, the kiddo has lost 3 members of her gang so far, and her gang is falling apart piece by piece. Unfortunately for the kiddo, though, she realizes she doesn't want to lose any more fighters that she already has at this point, and it's at that point that Melissa actually calls the game, which brings a victory for Soylent Green of the Nurgle corrupted Chaos cult that is a corpse-killed outcast gang. So that's going to do it with you guys. We're going directly to the post game because this game is now officially over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
So starting with the Children of the Vault for the injuries, Baymax as well as Slick both suffer grievous injuries but make full recoveries due to the Doc's Clinic. Same thing with Spectre. She had originally had a critical injury but makes a full recovery due to the Doc's Clinic as well. And then Yar Umbra as well as Slight both make full recoveries because they both got alcohol results. Now, for advancements, 5 members of this gang did advance. Mr. Sinister leveled to level 3, same thing with Mr. Smug. Both of those guys got +1 in their movements, as well as 10 additional credits added to their value. Wesley leveled to level 2, earning +1 to his ballistic skill and increasing his value by 5 credits. Silk leveled up to level 3, earning +1 to her initiative, increasing her value by 10 credits there. And Switch leveled up to level 2, earning +1 willpower and increasing their value up to 20 credits as well. Now from the settlement of Sanctuary, they originally started with 6 power, 5 sustenance, and as well as 7 salvage. After getting all the materials though, they ended up with 26 power, 15 sustenance, as well as 17 salvage. Now, my friendless kiddo decided to take those resources and to purchase a fungi farm for them as well. So now she ends up with 6 power, 15 sustenance, as well as 7 salvage. Now the training post, she didn't earn any credits, so she doesn't go anywhere with the training post at this time. Her total reputation is still stuck at 5 points reputation. Her new record now is at 3 wins and 8 losses, and her new gang rating now is at 2,600 points. So moving on to Soylent Green, for injuries, 2 members of this gang got injured, which was Fiddlesticks, who makes a full recovery, and Urg, who suffers a grievous injury but makes a full recovery due to the Doc's Clinic. During the ritual, the Wretchling was chosen as the vessel for the Dark Ritual, and it was passed, and he earned an additional 5 experience points, and this gang still maintains the Blessing of Nurgle. For advancements, Speculative Flyblown leveled to level 3, same thing with the Wretchling. Both those characters increased their Ballistic skill by 1, and both have increased their value by 5 credits. At the same time, the Tulak the Broken also leveled to level 4, earning +1 to his willpower and increasing his value by 20 credits as well. Now, from the settlement of Mauville, which is the settlement that this gang controls, they originally started with 15 power, 43 sustenance, as well as 44 salvage. After they got done getting all their benefits from their structures, he ended up with 35 power, 53 sustenance, as well as 54 salvage, and he decided to purchase critters, chasms, as well as an outpost for his defensive measures, bringing down his total to 30 power, 23 sustenance, as well as 4 salvage. Now, from the trading post, he was able to get 60 credits from the scenario, as well as combined with the 15 credits from his stash, giving him a grand total of 75 credits in total. With those 75 credits, he purchased armored undersuits for Reek, Urg, as well as Bubo. He also earned 1 additional point of reputation from the scenario, bringing his grand total of 13 points of reputation in total. His new record now is at 4 wins and 6 losses, and his new game rating now is at 2,910 points. So that's good to do it for this one, you guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is always appreciated. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest greatest hobby news related to this channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and stay classy.